A pleasant day to all my subscribers, my viewers, active citizens, and Nigeria. Thank you for joining me once again. Welcome to Real Naija Voice, where we expose the lies and speak the truth. Now and recently, Rufai is on Arise TV attacking Tinubu. Watch this now.
Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Charles, for having me.
Lovely to see you again.
Good to see you again.
And you are obviously the person everybody wants to talk to, but let me talk generally first of all before I come to you in particular, because we've heard different scenarios now about what political vehicle the opposition coalition will use to challenge and attempt to face down President Tinubu in 2027. One was to use existing parties such as the SDP that you're now a part of, or the ADC, or to register a completely new party, which they are now trying to do. Which in that chain of possibility is the most plausible?
Well, look, Charles, you don't go to war with only one plan. So very early in our discussions, the leaders of the coalition took the decision that we'll not only look for existing platforms and identify one that is suitable for all of us to go under one roof, but we'll also explore the possibility of registering a brand new party. Many of the leaders believe that registering a brand new party is the least risky of the propositions. Because
do you believe that?
I think so. I think a brand new party doesn't have any legacy problems or any viruses injected, because what the government, the ruling party and the government have been doing is to create problems in the opposition parties by recruiting and financing viruses to multiply. This is what is happening in the Labour Party, the PDP, and even the NNPP. So many of the leaders expressed concern that perhaps the best way to avoid this, you are dealing with a mischievous government and party that is totally immoral. They will do anything to eliminate all opposition, is to register a brand new party. And the Constitution and the Electoral Acts are very, very clear about the qualification for registering a new party. Many of us do not believe that under the current leadership of INEC, a new party will be registered, because Dr. Mahmoud Yakubu is not Jega, and President Tinubu is not Jonathan. Okay, those were the people in charge when the APC was registered, and many were pessimistic about the prospects of registering a new party. But we said, let's try it. Right. Let's show that this government is interfering to ensure there is no opposition.
But
so we're pursuing both paths. Right. And if both become available, then the leadership will then sit down and consult and take their views to the plenary, and a decision will be taken.
Right, but some would argue that that's not an entirely fair...
Is that any party that is registered will get assigned a set of officers. The requirements in the Constitution that have been repeatedly upheld in the Supreme Court are very simple. They are very easy to meet. So, you don't need the entire INEC to queue 100 applications and say, oh, we'll finish A before we come to Z. You assign teams, and look, we've project managed things like that. You can do this in no time if you want to do it. Of course, they will give those excuses, but we don't believe it. We don't believe that. And when the timelines in the Electoral Act and the Constitution are very clear, there are a number of days that INEC must respond and say, this is the defect in your application. Otherwise, the Constitution says, you are deemed to have been registered. So INEC is treading on a very narrow path here. It has an opportunity to show its independence, and it should prove its skeptics wrong. But there are opposing views. But the coalition decided that will be pursued, and that's why you saw the application.
Right.
And in that
it's a collective decision.
It was a collective decision. Already in the coalition, there are about 3 groups that have made attempts to register their own party. Okay, so we said, look, come together, harmonize, and come up with one name, one party, one logo, one constitution, and they came at the last meeting. We were briefed on the name and the symbol and so on, and that team was given the go-ahead to proceed with the registration. Some leaders in the coalition prefer a new party, as I said, while some feel that, you know, we should just go into an existing party and start organizing, because the main battle begins when we have a platform.
Sure.
This is all
that
preliminaries.
implies that your presence in the SDP is very temporary then. I mean, that you're going to leave the SDP, assuming the ADA gets registered.
When I joined the SDP, I made it clear in my statement that even though I'm in the SDP, just like every other, I mean, ATIKU Abubakar is still in the PDP. Peter Obi has not officially led Labour Party. But we all agreed that if we have consensus on a platform, we are going to give up our own legacy parties and focus on that platform. Sure, they would. I mean, we are politicians. We are students of power. So yes, they will do that. But nobody is talking about, I want to be the president, or you know, leave this for me, and so on. Everybody is saying we have a problem. This country is targeted for destruction by a collection of urban bandits. Let's come together, send them back home, and put this country back on track. Well, it is about fixing the country. Nobody is talking about his ambition. And that has been very good so far, and I'm encouraged.
Right. Well, I'm going to come back to that issue to get into why you supported him so totally, because I remember interviewing you during that period. I mean, there was, many people would say that there was never anything about him that really...
I know my parents, I know my birth date, I have classmates, okay, and there are no questions about whether I graduated from Ahmadu Bello University or not, okay? All those questions were there about about Tinubu. But for me, the question was, he was governor of Lagos, yes? How did he govern Lagos? He governed Lagos in a very inclusive manner. He had an Igbo guy as a commissioner. He had another Hausa man from Daura as one of his special advisors. In Lagos, in 1999, that was almost unique. He ran an inclusive government. After winning the elections with the Agberos and all that, he went and got the Cardosos, Wale Eduns, Yemi Osinbanjos from the private sector to come and help him run the government. So he did a decent job in governing Lagos. That's the only thing we know about him as far as governing is concerned. You know, Charles, every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future, okay? The way I looked at it is, well, look, he did a decent job in Lagos. Lagos has improved. You can't deny that. He laid a foundation. Many people have issues about how he held on to Lagos and so on and so forth. But the place is improving. If he can do half of that on a pan-Nigeria level, this country will move forward. So I said, look, he's the candidate of the party. I will support him. I will do everything to ensure he wins. So that's my explanation.
Right.
Now, fast forward.
He's failed you.
Fast forward.
As you said.
He has. Look, the one thing I was almost confident President Tinubu would do would be to have a competent team, solid people. Look at his cabinet. It's a joke. The largest cabinet in Nigeria's history, maybe there are 5 ministers that can be called ministers in the time I was minister, which was 20 years prior. Okay? Who is the Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in that cabinet? Who is the Obi Ezekwesili? You know, there is just no quality. As I said, apart from about 5
you
of
could
them.
ask the same question. Yeah. Who is the Nasir El Rufai?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to go to that level.
Well, the reason I bring that up is that a lot of people will be saying that you're saying these things because you didn't make it into the cabinet when you expected to do so. And I'm wondering if that, what some interpreted as a slap in the face for you, is what is motivating you. And whether, let me just make this point, whether or not there could be Because, I mean, he dropped you, which, after all the effort you made on his behalf,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering whether there could be an even bigger political price to pay for you for going for the president's political jugular this time. Because when you supported him, he cast you aside. And now this time you're opposing him.
Yeah.
Could there be a bigger political price to pay for you?
There may be. I don't care. That's me, okay? Now, let's go back to that. You know, Charles, anytime I wake up and I see the Tinubu government inflicting more pain on Nigerians and just bungling governance, the simplest things in governance that I knew when I was DG of BP, these guys can't even get it together. Whenever I see that, I thank God. Because I think God saved me. I'm a very lucky person. I think God saved me from the embarrassment of having to explain to be part of this disaster, okay? So I've never thought twice about it. I never sought to be minister. I was minister 20 years before. That's nothing. Tinubu begged me.
And to your credit,
okay?
You did a superb job as Minister of Abuja.
Thank you very much.
Everybody would agree to
Thank
that.
you very much, okay? My record is there, all right? So Tinubu begged me publicly. The videos are there to serve in his cabinet. He requested me to change my personal life plans, okay? So those that I say is because he dropped me. How can I be unhappy about something that I never sought, it was actually an imposition on me? I had to change my plans. I had to put my PhD on hold. I had to do many things because of his request. So it has not happened. It has not happened. I'm grateful to God that it has not happened because I don't have to explain to Nigerians why electricity is this way, the economy is going this way, the exchange rate is going that way, and so on. I don't have to explain that.
Right. But what is your sense of what the wider public mood is? Because, I mean...
I am not a fan of Rufai, but I truly admire his statement. I was part of those who introduced the problem, but want to be part of those that will change and correct the error. You see, I like this statement. Rufai knows that when he was the governor of Kaduna State, he did so many atrocities that the Kaduna people were very angry with him due to the administration he was handling. He was part of Tinubu, he was part of Buhari regime and did so many calamities because Tinubu regime is a continuation of Buhari regime. So him coming out on his sister at the age of 65 to say that he want to put an end of this thing, these calamities, because he don't have what he would tell the upcoming young one, his children, his grandchildren, what he did in the past. He does not have a good record, so he want to create a good record before he would die, before he get to the age of retirement in politics. So that's why he's out today to attack Tinubu, that Tinubu has failed the country. He has left the country to suffer. There's hungry everywhere. The country is full of people who want. In fact, I don't even know how to even put it, but the country is suffering. It's suffering from atrocity, suffering from calamities. That they need a better person that will put an end. That's why he said that come to the south, and if they are choosing anybody from the south, it should be P2B, because P2B have this potential. P2B has the impression of changing this country to be a better nation. Because if you want to check the number of people who are suffering in Nigeria today, there are many. Tinubu, this administration, he just want to be the king of everything. Hungry, there's hunger in the land. People are suffering. A lot of people have not been able to eat for the past 3 days now because of 5,000 cannot cook a pot of soup. Now in Lagos, if you want to buy a cup of Gary now, check the rate of a cup of Gary now. It's in a very high price. So, but he campaigned, during his campaign, he said that he's going to bring food down. Food will be cheaper. Fuel, petrol will be cheaper. But he came, when he entered office, he introduced subsidy that make the price of petrol to go very higher than normal. You see, this man has no good plans for Nigeria. There's no good plans for Nigeria. That's why Rufai is He's saying, he's talking about 2027, why the Nigerians are suffering and dying without resignation. Nigeria will never be free from slavery and from the impression of APC. Nigerians are suffering. They are into slavery in the hands of APC. They are into slavery because there's no freedom of movement, there's no freedom of speech, insecurity everywhere. You cannot travel to Kaduna freely, you cannot travel to Zamfara freely, you cannot even travel to Benue freely because of insecurity everywhere. There's hunger in the land and people do not have any means to survive. That's why that you see many of them are killing, many of them are into robbery just to earn a living. A country where a graduate will go to school and come back, there will be no job opportunity. For more than 5-10 years, some of them will end up doing cycling, some of them will end up doing barbing work, some of them will end up stealing, some of them will end up joining in a robbery gang to steal, to just for a living. You go to school, you suffer, some after 5 years, some after 4 years, you suffer, and you come back, there will no big job opportunity. And these politicians are there stealing money, feeding themselves, doing better houses outside the country, investing on their children, investing on their generation, and leaving the people who send them there to go and govern suffering. This country is not sweet. So if we want to really stop this problem, this slavery, we should unite together. We should pick P2B to run in ADC, because if it's going for PDP, PDP is a fly banner of APC because they work hand in hand. So P2B should be given the ticket in ADC to stop all this nonsense, to stop all this atrocity, because power will be zoned to the south. So P2B is a rightful candidate to go for ADC. ADC should give him ticket, presidential ticket, to win this election, and ATIKU should be the running mate of P2B. I think these strategies will be okay.